So first, a quick revision from last lesson. We now know that generally speaking, and depending on your strategy, the idea of making money from options trading is not to get an advantageous transaction of the 100 shares themselves, but rather you're trying to get an advantageous transaction on the premium of the option contract itself. We know that we can make money from the premium of the option contract going up and going down. So to capitalize on those price changes, it's imperative that you understand what causes the premium of the contract to change. There's three main factors that contribute to the change in a contract's premium. In this lesson, we're just going to take a look at the first factor that affects premium, and that is time decay, aka theta. There are Greek names associated with these factors, but to keep it simple, we're just going to focus on calling this factor time decay. This can be a little harder to understand, so I'm going to revert to first using an insurance example of how time decay can affect the price of an insurance contract. Let's have a look. The car owner is going on a month-long road trip. They are deciding whether to purchase an insurance contract to cover damage protection for 30 days. The contract has a purchase value of $100. It has that much value because that car is driving every day along the road for 30 days. That's 30 opportunities for an accident to occur. The road trip is progressing, and there are 20 days remaining on the road trip. That's only 20 opportunities for an accident to occur, compared to 30 opportunities it was before. There is less risk from a time duration point of view. The price of insurance isn't going to be as high. Now that contract is only worth $60. Now there are only 2 days of the trip remaining. That's only 2 opportunities for an accident to occur. The risk is much lower. Now that insurance contract is only worth $10. The car owner finishes the road trip with 0 days remaining. That's exactly 0 opportunities for an accident to occur. So why would anyone want to buy that insurance contract now? It's worth $0. You've observed how the value of the contract reduced over time in direct correlation with reduced time and risk. The value of that contract can only decrease over time due to this specific time factor of time decay. It can never increase. Now let's move past that analogy, but keep the concept of it fresh in your head, and let's transfer that to see how time decay affects the premium of an option contract. The option contract buyer has purchased the option contract with 30 days to expiry for $1. Remember, it controls 100 shares. You have to multiply that value by 100. The actual value of the contract is $100 and it covers 30 days. It has that much value because that stock price is constantly changing every day for 30 days. That's 30 opportunities for the stock price to close outside the strike price and in the money. The stock price hasn't breached the strike price, and now there are only 20 days remaining on the contract. That's only 20 opportunities to close in the money compared to 30 opportunities it was before. There is less risk from a time duration point of view. The premium of the contract isn't going to be as high. Now that contract is only worth 60 cents, which is really $60. The stock price hasn't breached the strike price, and now there are only 2 days remaining on the contract. That's only 2 opportunities to close in the money. The risk is much lower. Now that contract is only worth 10 cents, which is really $10. The contract expires and the stock price has stayed out of the money. There are exactly 0 days remaining on the contract. That's 0 opportunities for a close in the money. So why would anyone want to buy that option contract now? It's worth $0. You observed how the value of the option contract reduced over time in direct correlation with reduced time and risk. The value of the contract can only decrease over time due to this specific factor of time decay. It can never increase. So knowing that with passing time, the option price is decreasing marginally, you can use that knowledge to create an advantageous trade. Let's really look at the key takeaway from this lesson. Ignoring all other factors that affect premium, as time passes during the option contract period, risk will reduce and premium will reduce. Remember that option sellers want the price to go down, while time decay is only reducing premium as the contract expiry reduces. To put it quite simply, this specific factor benefits option sellers more, but you'll see with the combination of other factors that premium doesn't always simply just go down. We're going to take a look at the next factor that affects option premium in the next lesson. Have a good day.